am Deborah, a prophet and judge of Israel. My story begins in the hills of Ephraim, under a grand palm tree. This is where I settle disputes and share the wisdom of the Lord with my people. Life in Israel is hard. We are oppressed by King Jabin of Canaan. His iron chariots and fierce warriors, led by General Sisera, have terrorized us for 20 years, but hope remains. I feel a call in my heart to bring freedom to my people. One day, as I sit under my palm tree, a figure approaches. It is Barak, a respected warrior from the tribe of Naphtali. His muscular build and determined eyes show many battles fought and won. He bows slightly, showing respect, but also desperation. "Deborah," Barak begins, his voice heavy with our suffering, "we cannot live under this oppression any longer. Our children, our future, depend on it. What does the Lord command us to do?" I feel a surge of divine inspiration. The words come to me as if whispered by the wind. "The Lord commands you, Barak, to take 10,000 men from Naphtali and Zebulun and lead them to Mount Tabor. There, he will give Sisera into your hands." Barak's eyes widen in awe and fear. "I will go," he says, his voice steady, "but only if you go with me." Without hesitation, I reply, "I will surely go with you. But know this, the road on which you are going will not lead to your glory, for the Lord will deliver Sisera into a woman's hand." Barak nods, accepting this prophecy with a mix of relief and determination. He understands the gravity of the situation and the divine assurance of my words. The following days are a blur of activity. Messengers are sent to the tribes of Naphtali and Zebulun, calling men to arms. The response is overwhelming. Men from all walks of life answer the call. They are farmers, shepherds, and craftsmen. They are not trained soldiers, but each is ready to fight for freedom. The camp at Mount Tabor grows rapidly. Tents are pitched, and fires are lit. The twang of bowstrings and the hiss of arrows fill the camp. The men train tirelessly, perfecting their aim. Barak moves among them, offering words of encouragement. His presence is a steadying force, a beacon of hope. And I speak to the troops every evening, giving them hope and courage. I tell them stories of our ancestors, of Moses and Joshua, who led our people out of bondage. I remind them that the Lord is on our side and has promised us victory. Their eyes shine with a mix of fear and determination. They are ready to face the might of Sisera's army, to fight for their families and land. At dawn, we descended from Mount Tabor. The sky was painted with the colors of a new day. Our hearts beat as one, filled with determination and faith. We moved quickly and silently, spreading out on the plains where Sisera's iron chariots waited. The air was thick with tension. Confident in his might, Sisera commanded his troops from his vantage point. His chariots, weapons of terror, gleamed under the rising sun. Suddenly, a thunder filled the air. Dark clouds gathered quickly, and rain began to pour. The plains turned into thick mud, making Sisera's chariots useless. Our warriors, filled with divine energy, rushed forward. The battle was fierce and chaotic. Covered in mud and soaked, we fought with desperation from years of oppression. Barak led the charge, his sword moving swiftly, cutting through Sisera's troops. Amidst the clashing of weapons and cries of battle, I saw Sisera abandon his chariot and flee on foot. The once mighty general now disappeared into the hills. The sun was beginning to set. Long shadows stretched over the land as Sisera, the mighty general of King Jabin's army, fled for his life. His armor was tarnished, his strength gone, and his spirit broken. The Israelite forces, led by Barak and inspired by the prophetess Deborah, had destroyed his once invincible army. Now, Sisera had only one hope: to escape with his life. Sisera stumbled through the rugged terrain, looking desperately for a hiding place. His heart pounded with fear, his breath came in ragged gasps, and his legs felt weak. In the distance he saw a solitary tent belonging to Heber the Kenite. He knew Heber's family was at peace with King Jabin, so he approached, hoping for safety. Jael, the wife of Heber, stood at the entrance of the tent. She was a striking woman, known for her beauty and grace. Her light hair fell in waves over her shoulders, and her eyes were sharp and intelligent. As a Kenite, Jael led a life of peace and simplicity, tending to her home and supporting her husband. Yet, beneath her calm exterior lay a strength and courage she had not yet discovered. When Sisera stumbled into her presence, Jael's eyes widened in surprise, but she quickly masked her reaction. "Come in, my lord, come in. Do not be afraid," she said, her voice calm and soothing. She led him inside and covered him with a blanket, comforting the weary fugitive. "Please, give me some water," Sisera pleaded, his voice barely above a whisper. Jael nodded and brought him milk instead of water. She handed him a skin of milk, a gesture meant to ease his mind and body. As Sisera drank deeply, the milk's warmth soothed his parched throat and weary soul. His eyes grew heavy, and he struggled to stay awake. "Stand at the entrance of the tent," Sisera instructed, his voice fading as sleep overtook him. "If anyone comes and asks you, 'Is there anyone here?' say, 'No.'" Jael nodded, watching as Sisera drifted into a deep sleep. His breathing became steady and rhythmic. As she stood over the sleeping general, Jael's demeanor changed. Her eyes, once soft and kind, hardened with resolve. She knew this was her chance to strike a blow for Israel. Jael moved about the tent, her mind racing. She was not a warrior, but she knew this act required more than physical strength. It required courage and determination. She retrieved a heavy hammer and a long, sharp tent peg. Her heart pounded, but her hands remained steady. Taking a deep breath, she positioned the tent peg over Sisera's temple. With one swift, decisive move, Jael drove the peg through Sisera's temple. The blow was enough to kill him instantly. The once feared general lay motionless, defeated not by the sword, but by the bravery of a woman. When Barak arrived, still pursuing Sisera, Jael stepped out to meet him, her expression calm and resolute. "Come," she said, leading him into her tent. "I will show you the man you are seeking." Barak followed her inside, his eyes widening in astonishment as he saw Sisera lying dead, the tent peg still lodged in his temple. The mighty warrior had fallen, and the victory was complete. Barak's respect for Jael grew as he realized the enormity of her deed. Jael's transformation from a peaceful wife to a decisive hero was remarkable. Her bravery and quick thinking had secured a pivotal victory for Israel. In that moment, Jael became a symbol of courage and strength, proving that even the most unlikely individuals could change the course of history with their actions. With Sisera's death, the battle turned in our favor. The Israelites, once oppressed and downtrodden, now stood victorious. The land had rest for 40 years. My heart swelled with pride as I looked upon my people, free and unafraid. I knew the journey ahead would not always be easy, but rested this victory had proven that with faith and courage, we could overcome any foe with faith and courage. I continued to guide and lead from Israel. So, the story of Deborah, Barak, and the courageous men and women became a testament of faith, bravery, and divine intervention from the shade of my palm tree. I always remember the day when ordinary people, empowered by God, achieved the extraordinary.